Do you not think it's a bigger issue that women are being raped than men that are being falsely accused?
I think they're both big issues.
Rape itself shouldn't even be anything, like rape shouldn't even exist in itself, let alone...
I agree.
I just think that even asking this is just offensive in itself. Do you feel like even asking these questions could be a little bit degrading to any woman that has been raped and has not been believed?
I don't think it's degrading, no.
What if I had been raped and I wasn't believed, and now you're telling me that what you're saying?
Yeah,
you don't think that would be offensive?
What do you think I'm saying exactly? I think that we are losing the ability to ask the questions because people say my feelings are hurt or I feel offended. That's not enough reason to not have the conversation. But I think we should try and have the conversations respectfully.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're so passionate about it. Like, are you worried about false accusations being made about you?
I think every man should be reasonably concerned.
Look, we all know that false allegations and false accusations happen, and it seems like it's becoming more and more common these days. And I don't really want to make it about a gender thing, but if we're honest with ourselves, it mainly happens to men. And the problem is that even if the person isn't convicted of that crime, their reputation is still ruined. They've had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get a criminal defense, and it seems like there's no repercussions for the person who puts those false allegations on someone. So I have a question for you guys. What do you think that we should do about this? If somebody is falsifying accusations and saying things, trying to get somebody put in prison, does it seem fair to you that they should have to do the same amount of time in prison that they were trying to put on that innocent person? What seems fair to you guys? Should it just be like a civil matter, or should women face actual criminal punitive damages when they put false allegations onto dudes? Let me know what you think down in the comments.
In today's episode of How Women Keep Disappointing Us, we dive headfirst into the murky waters of false allegations, a tale as old as time, but somehow messier with every retelling. Strap in, because the absurdity is about to get real. Let's rewind to 1991 when Dr. George Reckers, a towering figure in the anti-gay movement and founder of the Family Research Council, oh, the irony, found himself at the center of a scandal straight out of a bad soap opera. Picture this. Reckers, who spent his days wagging fingers at immorality, was accused of sexually assaulting a male escort he'd hired for a vacation. Yep, the very guy who was front and center in Miami Beach's anti-pedophile campaign got slapped with an accusation that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. The timing? Suspicious. The accusations? Shaky. But hey, once the allegation grenade goes off, good luck putting that pin back in. Reckers went from righteous crusader to social pariah faster than you can say hypocrisy. And that's the point here, isn't it? Allegations, no matter how flimsy, have a way of sticking like gum on a hot sidewalk, ruining reputations before facts even enter the picture. So, what's the lesson? That false accusations aren't some fringe phenomenon. They've been weaponized for decades, leaving wreckage in their wake. As much as society likes to parade the idea of believing without question, history's greatest hits prove why blind faith doesn't always serve justice.
His life was ruined by a made-up story. This is Brian Banks, a former standout linebacker for Poly High School, a USC commit, and a teammate of Deshaun Jackson and Mercedes Lewis. In 2002, at the age of 16, Brian was accused of a gruesome act of sexual assault by classmate Juanetta Gibson. Following the accusations, Brian was expelled from school, arrested, and placed in a juvie. At the start of the trial, he was facing 41 years to life in prison, but accepted a plea bargain that included 6 years in prison and 5 years on probation, all for a crime he didn't commit. Following the case, Gibson and her mother even sued the school and won a $1.5 million settlement, claiming it wasn't a safe environment. But in March of 2011, Gibson and Banks met up in person, and Banks secretly recorded her admitting that she made the entire story up. Even with literal proof, Gibson refused to tell prosecutors that she had lied. Then, in 2012, Banks was exonerated from all his crimes, and the school even sued Gibson back, this time winning a $2.6 million settlement. Banks finally made it to the NFL with his teammates in 2013, signing with the Falcons, but was unfortunately cut after the season. Go down.
Today's buffet of nonsense serves up more cases of people using sexual assault allegations like Monopoly get-out-of-jail-free cards, or at least get-out-of-coaching cards. First up, Tennessee basketball player DeAndre Jones, who in 2007 decided he was done with sprints and drills and figured, hey, why not accuse my coach of rape? Seriously, that's what he went with instead of, just quitting the team like a normal person. Jones later admitted he fabricated the whole story because he was tired of being coached. Imagine the audacity, weaponizing an allegation just to skip practice. Next, we have Sarah Smarsh, who just last week lobbed a grenade at acclaimed author and former presidential candidate J.D. Vance. The timing? Conveniently aligned with his presidential run. She claimed he assaulted her back in their Yale days during a night of heavy drinking. The New Yorker ate it up like it was the scoop of the century. But here's where it gets good. Or bad, depending on your taste for absurdity. After a little fact-checking, the story unraveled faster than a poorly knitted sweater. Turns out, not only were there contradictions in her account, but there were whispers of a prior relationship and even a past accusation Smarsh had made against someone else at Yale. The kicker? She actually thought seeing his face on TV would make it easier to tell her story. Honey, if your tale needs a primetime boost to feel real, it might just be fiction. So what have we learned here, folks? False accusations aren't just destructive, they're also the go-to move for people who can't handle responsibility or want a quick headline. And until we start holding these fabricators accountable, they'll keep turning real issues into a punchline. Next, Ashton Kutcher, whose 2011 breakup with Mila Kunis must have hit him harder than his "dude, where's my car" flop. In a bizarre attempt to flex his Twitter muscles, Kutcher decided to randomly accuse Kunis's ex-boyfriend, Macaulay Culkin, of sexual assault. Why? Because jealousy makes people do weird things, I guess. He claimed it was just a joke to nip something in the bud. Spoiler, nobody was laughing, especially after the media turned it into a spectacle. Next, we have Michael Fassbender, who found himself targeted by a woman trying to yank him off an award nomination list. You know you're dealing with next-level pettiness when someone uses assault allegations as a career sabotage tactic. Classy. And then there's Jeremy Piven, who got accused of groping a woman at a party. The evidence? A photograph. Because apparently smiling for the camera now qualifies as criminal behavior. The kicker? The accuser had previously filed another false allegation against an unnamed actor and was linked to a smear campaign. Girl's got a hobby, apparently. The pattern is painfully clear. These wild accusations aren't about justice. They're about vendettas, attention, or flat-out revenge. And yet men are expected to sit tight while their reputations go through the shredder. The real crime here? Letting this nonsense go unchecked. Let's get real. False accusations of sexual assault aren't just oopsies or mistakes. They're calculated character assassinations that ruin lives, destroy careers, and undermine actual victims who desperately need to be heard and believed. Yet somehow, these women often walk away scot-free, while the accused are left picking up the shattered pieces of their lives. Here's a wild thought. If a man falsely accuses someone of a crime, he faces jail time for perjury or filing a false report. Why shouldn't the same apply to women who weaponize accusations for personal gain, revenge, or attention? A slap on the wrist and a tisk-tisk from society isn't justice, it's enabling. These women should absolutely serve jail time, and frankly, the punishment should match the damage they inflict. Lost jobs, public humiliation, shattered relationships. The fallout isn't just emotional, it's tangible and often irreversible. Harsh punishments would serve as a deterrent and a clear message. The court of public opinion is not your personal vendetta machine. If we genuinely care about justice, it can't just be one-sided. False accusers need to face consequences as serious as their allegations. Anything less is a disservice to real victims and a free pass for deceit. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.